Hello and welcome once again to Region Weather Live, your online YouTube source for weather across the Dakotas and Minnesota. I am meteorologist Brad Warner. And, well, to be honest, I wasn't going to do a forecast for today because it's going to be a generally nice day across the region. And I thought, there's nothing really to talk about. Temperatures are typically going to be in the 60s to maybe near 70 out in portions of western North Dakota. The only exception really would be down here in the far southern parts of Minnesota, where they're still going to be under the influence of that upper level low, and they could see some rain showers throughout the day. But I mean, they're still going to be in the mid to upper 50s and a little bit of rain. I mean, they kind of needed a little more down there. So, really not too bad of a day. The winds, generally are going to be kind of east southeasterly, 5 to 15 miles per hour across Minnesota and South Dakota. Maybe 10 to 20 across North Dakota, but for North Dakota, that isn't bad because, I mean, let's face it, we see a lot stronger winds across our area any time of year. But then I started thinking about what I was seeing in some of the extended models, and I remember seeing this, and that the models started to also show this, and this. And then I noticed that the Storms Prediction Center for Monday gave us a slight chance of severe weather across portions of our area. So I started to get a little excited and thought, let's do a forecast. So as I said, today we're looking at some showers across southern parts of Minnesota, mainly south of that kind of Minneapolis area, the far south down to the Sioux Falls. And it looks like really by late morning, most of that area kind of clears off. And then you're just kind of left with some showers in the far southeastern parts of the state later in the day. But overall, going to be looking like a dry day and pleasant day across much of the region. Now on Friday, we get the return of something the Dakotas at least haven't seen for quite a while, and that is the return of 50-degree dew points as some higher humidity finally makes its way into the region. And, the other curious thing as I look out here, that we got a bit of a wind shift, almost like a dry line out in the western parts of North Dakota. And normally you don't see that too often. You see that a little more down in the south when we're talking about some storms. But interestingly enough, we are expecting a few storms to develop later in the day on Friday in through central portions of the state, and through central portions of North Dakota anyway, and slowly move eastward throughout the evening hours and probably likely lose much of its punch as we lose the daytime heating into the overnight hours. Curious enough, it's got this little system that wants to, or this little lone little cell that wants to develop later in the night. Not real sure if that's going to happen, but at any rate, we're looking at the chance of some showers and storms popping off later in the day on Friday. And as we get into Saturday, a little more moisture as we're looking at 55, maybe 60-degree dew points. And then the temperatures a little bit warmer as well as we continue just to draw up some warmer conditions and just some nice temperatures. We're looking at 60s to 70s across much of the area, maybe even the mid 80s in through southwestern parts of South Dakota. So, man, it's looking real nice for your Saturday. Now, of course, with the warmer air and those higher dew points, once again, we're going to be looking at the chance of some thunderstorms developing late in the day across the Dakotas and spreading eastward and into Minnesota late Saturday night into early Sunday morning. And those showers and storms continue to move east. And then it looks like for your Sunday, more of the same. As the latest long-range model shows for Sunday, some scattered showers and storms. Now, it's not looking near as wet as these models were showing earlier in the week. It seems like as the days have gone along here, we've dried up and we've developed more into a summertime pattern to where we just see the occasional showers and storms go through. And it looks like Sunday right now might turn out to be one of the better days as far as rain goes. And that's when we get into Monday. We've got a strong southwesterly upper level flow that makes its way into the region. We've got plenty of warm air that develops on the south side of that jet stream. And it's a very favorable setup typically for severe weather across the region this time of year. Now, the models right now for Monday looking at dew points in the 60s to even possibility of seeing some 70s out through portions of Minnesota. And then as we get or take a look at our temperatures for Monday, we could see mid 80s by Monday already into southern parts of Minnesota. And that basically gives us CAPE in the 2 to 3,000s. Now, what CAPE is convective available potential energy. So the amount of energy in the air, and all it needs, all the air needs, all the atmosphere needs is a kicker, something to set it off. And with the high values in the 2000s or greater, typically actually above 1500 or greater, then you could get severe weather because the atmosphere is ripe, it's ready to go. So that's why it's indicating, or why the Storms Prediction Center is looking at the possibility of some severe weather down here on Monday. Now, the only thing it's really seems to be lacking is the kicker, is the thing to set it off. But, maybe with the temperatures and dew points high enough, maybe it can just do it on its own, and we might get some discrete severe cells down there on Monday. And as we go even deeper into next week, things only seem to get more interesting. This big low deepens down in the southwest. We've got another low in the southeast, and a big blocking pattern continues to develop. And what that does is bring some southwesterly flow and a big ridge of high pressure right over us. And that's going to allow plenty more warm air, moist air, to ride and move northward into our area. And this is something that's been a little interesting, as a couple models have hinted at this warm-up and at the return of the moisture, but it really wasn't until yesterday that they really kind of started to agree more on this, that this would happen. So here it is on Thursday, and now we're looking at the return of 60s across much of the area. And even our temperatures are looking at 80s across, eastern parts of the Dakotas in through Minnesota. A little bit cooler than out into the western parts of the Dakotas, just because as that jet stream, it's sitting like right through here. So that's the cutoff. And obviously, as south of that is where all the warmer areas, and north of that jet stream is where some of the cooler air is going to be. So the jet kind of runs right through central to western portions of the Dakotas, so they're going to be a little bit cooler out there later in the week. Meanwhile, areas further east will be warming up. And what does that mean for our thunderstorm possibility and severe weather? Well, if you believe this, once again, this is our CAPE, and wow, 4,000, 5,000. Now, this is quite a ways out there, folks, and I always got to give that caveat in there. Obviously, this is quite a ways out there, and one thing these models have a hard time doing, more so than predicting the temperature, is figuring out how much moisture is going to be available in this CAPE, this available potential energy is very much reliant on both temperature and dew point. And like I said, the one thing the models have trouble with, they struggle with, especially that far out, is the dew point. So take this with a grain of salt, but it makes me happy as a meteorologist. I like seeing it, and so I'm just gonna put it out there that, hey, it's looking a little more likely. For sure, it looks like we're kind of getting into a summertime pattern, where we're looking at the chance of the occasional thunderstorms throughout the next week or so, and some of them could be severe. So we'll just have to keep that in mind. And of course, with that severe weather, I will be live on those days to make sure you are informed. I will be here. I will be watching the weather, and just keeping you updated throughout the days and evenings and nighttime as well, if need be. So Be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you're in the Dakotas or Minnesota, hit the little bell button after that so you know if I am on live. Let people know about it so that they have somewhere to turn to. Obviously, more and more people seem to be cutting the cable and turning elsewhere. And I'll be there. I'll be there for you guys when the severe weather happens and rolls in through our region. So everybody, enjoy the next few days. I tell you what, today really is going to be a beautiful day for Thursday. And actually, the weekend isn't looking too bad at all. And it looks like we got a warm up on the way. So things are beginning to look more and more like summer. So that's a good thing. Loving that. For Region Weather Live, I am meteorologist Brad Warner. Everybody, have a good day.